Hi everybody, this is Mark Bromley, your artist and author of the Yoranthium book series. Today I have for you a piece called the Nude Back Study, and this was a life drawing course that they offered at Western University, where we go in and we draw people who were either attending the college or working around the college or doing something around the college, where they were actually being paid to come in and pose for us as a nude model. And we would sit there in this class drawing a nude model. Yeah, they tended to be all female most of the time, and I don't think we actually ever had a male model. No, we didn't. We had a lot of female models, and some of them are actually art students, some of them weren't. And you may have seen this person before. She did model for the eraser artwork that I did earlier. Um, She was in a different pose then, but now she's just sitting on a stool here. That must have been very uncomfortable. Those art stools were metal. They were very uncomfortable. I never really actually sat in them too much because they were so uncomfortable. I cannot imagine actually posing on one. That must have been one of the coldest classrooms in the universe. Because, normally these were after hours, after uh, the sun was going down and stuff, so it would probably be pretty cold in this place. I can only imagine modeling like that under those conditions and why they were doing it and why they needed that as a source of income. Um, Side gigs, I know. Well, anyways, when I was doing this artwork, I was actually taking a minor in sociology. I was thinking of becoming a sociologist, but then I stopped because I realized what sociology really meant in the state of Colorado. It meant spying on those around you and turning in reports on those around you. It was basically like the communists and socialists that exist here in the state of Colorado that create the conditions of North Korea and poverty, endless poverty. Um, that's what I experience, endless poverty, apparently. Apparently I can be a really great artist, but they try to hide me on the internet. They try to subdue me. They try to keep me quiet and silent and stuff like that. And that's what their psychology and sociology and their political science, their pseudoscience courses is all about: suppression, oppression, tyranny, socialism, communism, creating the North Korea of Colorado. And that's what basically drove me away from sociology. I was supposed to turn in a final report. And in that final report, I realized that there was a real big problem. That final report required me to rat out my friends because I did a whole study on how drug culture got started here in Colorado, which was very important to actually understand because a lot of people that are in the Democrat Party are actually part of this drug culture, this drug society. And it's because, look, Biden, his kid Hunter, they actually profit a lot off the pharmaceutical companies. And when you become a psychologist, if you get a doctorate in psychology, it's all about issuing meds. It's about selling drugs. Yeah, they're all the pseudosciences are just a cover up for worse things to come. Like political science is a door-to-door salesperson who likes to do telemarketing and pretend that they're the leadership of the United States, or this is the inflated egos they actually develop through the political science thing. Like the person I'm running against, Jenny Wilford, she's a psychotic and completely unfit for the job, not a leader, and a complete fraud. But yet there she is. They're letting her do that because she created her own consulting company. They all create their own consulting company because that's all they can actually do. They can only bullshit the population. And that's what they turn into. And she's a gender studies major, trying to convince people that there's more than two genders. And that's just part of the tooling that they were creating over at Western University in Gunnison, all the colleges in Colorado. These communists got in, these socialists got in, and they started pushing their programs forward. And it shows a lot. And And that's why I decided not to turn that report in, because I realized I was doing secret police work. That's it. The Nazi SS is called sociology. The Nazi SS is called psychology. The Nazi SS in the United States is called psychology. These are all pseudosciences. The pseudosciences are the same thing that the Nazis tried to pull in Germany, that socialists and communists pull in Russia, in China, in other parts of the world where there's massive oppression, where the religion is being replaced by government, the false religion of socialist communist government that the globalists want to push, that Hitler himself was the key proponent in actually truly establishing all those dystopian regimes. A lot of people forget that Nazi means National Socialist. Socialist. It's always about progress, progressive, progress, progress, progress. This is Hitler's speech. This is what he promised the people. And this is the same thing the Democrats do here in Colorado. This is why I live in North Korea, Colorado. North Korea, Northland, Colorado, where they've stolen my art. They just took it from me. They offered a job. I applied to it. They just stole my art. They gave it to somebody else because of their political agenda, because I didn't fit their political agenda. That's why they won't hire me. You have to fit their political narrow perspective, their message, their agenda, and that's how you get paid. That's why I'm always in poverty here, because I'm not part of their agenda anymore. They know that I rejected the sociology course, that I decided not to be their secret police that they were training me to become. And that's what they were hoping for. That's what they hoped through sociology, to create the secret police force. And they do it. They've created it quite well. They call it DICE. They call it their they even created a hiring part of it, that they can actually terminate employees left and right based on if they feel that you're not meeting their DICE requirements. And they've turned it into lynch mobs aimed at conservative people that may not share their viewpoint. And it's wrong to actually do that. Now, I can't say that I'm really too conservative anymore. I am an artist after all, so I have to be a little bit more open-minded. I'm more like a warrior poet, more like a philosopher, a deep thinker. That's the type of person I actually really am. Is that conservative? Yes, in a lot of retrospects. And it goes all the way back to Socrates and Aristotle. And, that's pretty conservative. You can go all back, trace your line of thought all the way to like aristocracy and Aristotle and people like Musashi and all sorts of Homer, who wrote the Iliad, the Odyssey. If you can actually go back to that kind of past, and you can even relate your own family story of 1066, Hastings, uh, the founding of Normandy, France, and your connections to the Vikings, why all these things happened, how you became Norman, why there was a Normandy, how the Normans knew they were going to get kicked out of France eventually, so they invaded England and basically replaced the Anglo-Saxons back in 1066 and created a horn dance. And if you go to the town of Bromley over in England and stuff like that, they still celebrate the horn dance, which is one of the oldest dances in the world. It's like over 10 centuries old. Go see it. It's an interesting little tale. There's a little bit of a Robin Hood tale going on in my family line, and yeah, it's fantastic. But you know, that is the biggest problem with our politics here, is that we allowed fake sciences, fake scientists, fake people to rise in our ranks to leadership positions without having any real leadership skill. Why do I talk about this? Is because Jenny Wilford and her goon squad of 3 other elected politicians of the Socialist Democrats tried to use another form of their Socialist Democrats, the legal system, to try to threaten me, scare me off, and trying to silence me because they're upset about me exposing the truth about them, talking the truth. They don't like the truth being out there about them because they know what they did is wrong. They know what they did is a lie, and they know that they keep pushing it. I mean, 6/5/23 City Council meeting here on YouTube. You can see Citizens to be Heard, Jenny Wilford, actually promoting, telling parents to tell their children to change their genders, to go through that really awful, terrible medical process to question their child's gender. Honestly, most children and every single human being, they pick their gender upon birth. When the chromosomes came together, they decided their gender right there and then. It's like character creation in any video game. If you really played a video game where you had to create a character, it's the same thing. But it's for real. It's here in life. It's the chromosomes coming together. Do you want to be boy or girl? You get a pick. You know what it is because it's in your genes. You already biologically know everything that there is to know about that. And that is done upon conception. Your identity, your soul, your human being, everything that you will be in life and can become in life is going to be formed in that DNA. The only reason why you would question it is because you ran into evil people. Evil people that allowed the suffering and the evil in this world to corrupt their souls, and they corrupted your souls if you're questioning that. You're just growing up with some bad people that have been harmfully destructive. They're known as socialists, they're known as communists, they're known as Democrats. They use Hitler's speech, progressive. These are the people that are harmful to you, dangerous to you. I tell you, if you really want to fix the United States, don't go out there and riot like you did in 2020 down in Denver, breaking glass, burning cop cars, things like that, trying to create your BLM thing or whatever you thought you were creating. The reality is, it's the Democrat Party that's your problem. They've been the systemic problem since the creation of this country, since their founder that founded the Democrat Party as one of the first political parties in the United States. They're the ones that created all the problems because they became the people who created slavery. They're the people who created the Confederate. They're the people who created the Civil War. And Colorado was founded from a lot of people who were escaping the Civil War, who wanted to get away from that Civil War. And that's why they came to Colorado and established Colorado in 1876. That's how it got created. It was the end of the Civil War, and for about 20 years after that, people wandered around in the nation creating new states to get away from that Civil War. And it's still going on today. At this time, it's still relevant. And the biggest thing that you can do if you really want an American Revolution, if you really want to change the United States, divide and destroy the Democrat Party. Divide and destroy the Democrat Party. That's all you have to do. You can make it into any other party you want. You can divide that into several different parties. Just divide it. And you will see all of the stuff, all the pain, all the suffering that this nation had suffered was because of that regime. Destroy that leadership. Get rid of it. Oppose it at every point. Here in Adams County, Northland, Colorado, defy Lori Goldstein. Just defy her. She's the one that's running that party right here in Adams County, and she's a thief. She's used child slave labor in 2023 to promote their Democrat agenda. They were putting out QR codes, websites of disinformation, trying to control the information in elections, and that's what they were paying for. That's what they were using those QR codes for. And yeah, just all you have to do is divide the Democrat Party. And your belief in your BLM, in the riots that you did in 2020, will be successful. You will win. You know why they pander to you? Because they're afraid that you'll catch on, that you'll see it was their Democrat Party that set you up to that, made you do all those awful things, made you hurt one another, created conditions of poverty, oppressed me, attacked me by the police over decades of life, the same way that they treated George Floyd is the same way they've treated me. How do I know? I worked in the V2 division on 2 aircraft carriers, and the people in those shops came from the very same streets as George Floyd himself. As a matter of fact, there's a person named Pat. He rhymed with the darkness, and he had a big, huge Black Panther tattoo on his back. He's a good friend. We did actually go to the Soul Bar together and drink a few beers, along with a lot of other first class and chiefs and the Divo. Uh, yeah, we went to the Soul Bar quite often. Yeah, you can get up there and rank and stuff like that in the Navy and stuff, and you can be from the very same streets that George Floyd came from. You can have the same background. If I'm working shoulder to shoulder with these guys, living in the same compartments, uh, going to bed at night with the same guys because we're all in the same berthing, yeah, I am a George Floyd. You can't get around that. You can't escape that fact because it's true. You exist in a life with a lot of people that are the same way. I mean, George Floyd looked like one of my rolling buddies. He literally looked like my rolling buddies. So yeah, we have a lot in common. And good guy though. Just because he's a victim of poverty. Yeah, that's what it is. Victim of poverty. That's what he was really actually a victim of. Same here. Poverty created by the Democrats, created by their social system, created by their social workers, created by their socialism, communism, creating socialists, psychology, and political science. A bunch of false courses. They'd probably be better off if they actually learned underwater basket weaving. Apparently, underwater basket weaving is a real job. It's a real paying career. Just ask those people from Deadliest Catch that go out off the coast of Alaska and fish. Yeah, those are underwater baskets. There you go. That's what they use to get those crabs and those fish. That's what they've been using, underwater baskets. So yeah, it's a better job. And yeah, these are things that can be changed, and all you have to do just simply dump the Democrat Party. I was learning about all this stuff over at Western University Colorado. People attack me over at Western University all the time about my college. And I tell them the reason why is I finished my courses, I finished the classes I needed. All I had left was the requirements that the Democrats legislated for college. Most of it was just to raise funds for Democrat orientation, Democrat Party officials, so they can run their elections. And that's what they actually increased these classes for in college. I refused and rejected that based on what had happened to me and a nice girl that I met over at college, and how their laws negatively impacted us because their stupidity, their short-sightedness, and their blindness to the needs of others, the reality of humanity, their blindness to the reality of humanity, where it made them inhumane. And I rejected those courses because I see no reason to waste resources on courses I did not need, that were irrelevant and pointless. Big waste of money. That's all they were. And that's why I left when I did. But then again, I ended up in Japan and I found the woman I actually imagined that I would run into when I was 12. Like a vision of my future. I actually ended up living that. And I was much more happier with the person I found. Much more happier. The United States wasn't happy. They wanted a slave. They wanted to control people. They wanted to dictate their families, their lives, everything. That's what the Democrats want to do. They want to dictate your life. They have no right to dictate your life. Reject the Democrat Party, dismantle them, oppose them, and live a better life. That's all you have to do. Thank you very much. I'm Mark Bromley, author and artist of the Yoranthium book series, with some very deep philosophical thoughts on the communism and socialism that is these fake pseudosciences being taught in our colleges. You have a great day.